Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. Today's video is just going to be a quick look at the game on the weekend. Aston Villa versus Arsenal at Villa Park. 5:30 kickoff under the lights. And this, just like it was for City in midweek, is a potential banana skin for Arsenal. Really tough game. Aston Villa have been in great form this season. They're currently sitting third in the table after their midweek victory against Manchester City. And this is going to be a real test of Arsenal's title credentials this season. Villa, especially at Villa Park, are one of the best teams in the league. You look at their team from front to back, they've got quality all over. Got a World Cup winning goalkeeper in Emi Martinez, obviously former Arsenal man. At the back, they're strong. Pau Torres is a very good left-sided centre-back. You know, he's created a good partnership with Carlos at the moment. Konsa's been playing right back quite a lot. Solid enough defender. Then they got good fullbacks in Digne and Cash who might play, who can all get forward and put a good ball into the box. Midfield-wise, they're very strong in midfield. You know, they've probably, outside of the so-called big 6 or 7, if you include Newcastle in that, they definitely have, I think, the best midfield outside of those teams. But they definitely got a better midfield also than United, for example. Probably Chelsea. And probably Newcastle, in fairness. You know, in terms of an overall collective. You know, with the likes of Douglas Luiz sitting there pulling strings. He's been really good this season. Obviously, a man Arsenal have been linked to potentially a move for the summer. Someone we did try and get a couple of summers ago, but didn't quite get it over the line. Puts in a very good set piece, and that's something Arsenal have to be wary of, especially with how we played against Luton, conceding 2 goals from corners. John McGinn might not be the flashiest player in the world, but, you know, he gives absolutely everything for Villa, and obviously their club captain. And Kamara's been really solid at the base of midfield as well. And then you go to the top half of the pitch, you can't not talk about Ollie Watkins. You know, bar Haaland, he's probably, well, he has been the best striker in the league this season. He's got 8 goals and 6 assists in 15 matches. Arsenal fan, so hopefully he takes it easy on us, but a real danger man to keep an eye on. Can score all types of goals. You know, movement's good, quick in behind, good in the air. And who knows who will partner him. Diaby was playing alongside him earlier on in the season. His form slightly slipped off. Bailey's come in and he's performed really well. Obviously scored the winner against City. Got a good left foot, both of them very quick. So it's going to be a real tough game. And if Arsenal aren't on it, we will get battered just like City did. City in midweek, like I discussed in my previous video, got absolutely battered by Aston Villa. Villa were just by far the better team in every aspect of the pitch. They had 22 shots to Man City's 2. And Man City's 2 shots come in the 11th minute, both in quick succession. Haaland forced a save out of Martinez. The cross comes back in, he heads it and he saves it again. And that's literally all City had the whole game. So, you know, if Arsenal need any more of a warning, they can't have got a better warning than what happened in midweek. And I'm sure Arteta and the whole team are up for it and they're ready for it. Villa's home record, like I said, is absolutely immense. They've won their last 14 home games. The last team to beat them was Arsenal at Villa Park. I think it was in January or Feb last year. This year, sorry. Last season. In that crazy 4-2 game where Jorginho kind of scored a last-minute winner. And then from a corner they have Martinelli went down the pitch and scored in an open goal when Martinez come up for the corner. So a really tough game. And if we do win, it'll be a big message sent out to the league, in my opinion, especially after City just got pumped by them. And it's a chance to keep, as a minimum, a 6-point gap over City for the time being. And Villa are only 4 points behind us. So if they beat us, they go to within a point of top. So that's a big incentive for Aston Villa. So have to be really careful about this one. So looking into the game and from an Arsenal point of view, how can we hurt them and what sort of team do I see going forward? Well, the thing is with Villa, they are quite, as good as they are, they do have games where they are very open and they do struggle. They beat Tottenham a few weeks ago, but anyone who watched that game knows that Tottenham should have been about 3-4-0 up within 15 minutes. Then it's game over. But they rode their luck in that game and managed to find a winner in the end. But they do give teams chances, as we know under any Unai Emery team when he was in charge of Arsenal. I remember we went on, I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it was like a 19-20 game unbeaten run when he first come in. But we weren't playing well necessarily. We were riding our luck. Teams were getting chances against us, and we were just getting away with it. And I feel like Villa do sometimes. I said they were lucky against Spurs. They only drew at Bournemouth recently before beating City. But like I said, away from home, they are a bit. They're a different team, and at Villa Park they are a much tougher outfit. So the way I see Arsenal causing them problems is by Villa's high line, and we need to get control of the ball. It's going to be a very intense atmosphere. They're going to stick it on us, and we got to stay in the game, get our foot on the ball, and start playing. And the key man, I think, who may come in for this game could be Jorginho. Could it be a time for him to come back into the team? He hasn't started the last few games. And I just feel like this might be a game where he comes in, gets the authority on the ball and keeps us ticking. Sort of, we played against them last season, he started, and he was brilliant in that game. And another thing I think Jorginho's really good at, and quite underrated, is how he can expose a team's high line with his quick balls in behind around the corner. And I feel like that's something we can exploit. Villa play a very, very high line. And if we can, take control of the ball, keep it ticking and move it quick when we need to, which I think Jorginho and Odegaard especially, and of course Rice as well, but mainly I'm looking at Jorginho and Odegaard to unlock them with the runs of Saka, Martinelli, maybe Jesus coming deep, because Jesus is going to have a big fight on his hand with those two centre-backs for Villa. He's going to have to get right stuck in. He's going to have to be clever, use his trickery. He could easily come deep, spin away from them and play balls in behind. And that's a big way I can see us hurting them. That's why I think it could be a key game for Martinelli as well. He's the quickest man in our front line, probably our quickest player in the team. With their high line, can we just get them balls in behind? He has to obviously time his runs right. Make them runs from left to right, drive towards goal. And hopefully, when the chances do come, we'll finish them. I do think it's a game where Arsenal will get a lot of chances. And we've got to be clinical and we've got to be solid. The one thing I think we need more than anything is to not give anything away. I don't want to see a Luton performance where the keeper's having absolute blunders and throwing balls into his own nets. That's just going to make it so much harder. If we go 3-2 down to Villa, for example, it may be a very tough game to come back into. I know last season when we played them, they went 1-0 up and then 2-1 up, and we still managed to come back and win. But I think this is a better Villa than it was last season. So we need to be right on it. Declan Rice is going to be key to try and get dominance in the midfield, as well as Odegaard. He's got to step up and, play with his head, use his touches and his movement and, get in between the lines, go off the shoulders and get in positions where he could really hurt them. It's going to be, I think it should be anyway, a really good game for a neutral to watch. I can imagine it being quite end-to-end, some good football played. But I feel like I've just got a feeling this could be a good game for Arsenal. And I feel like it could be a game where Villa may play into our hands slightly. And if we're on it and we defend like we know we can do, we can definitely limit them, potentially keep them out and hit them on the counter. And I think it might be a game where we don't need to necessarily dominate possession, but when we do get it, just take care of it. Don't give it away cheaply. Try and quieten the crowd after the first 10 to 15 minutes and start playing our football. So, just going to go into the predicted 11. It will be Raya in goal, as much as I believe Ramsdale should come in. I can't see it happening. So I think it'll be David Raya in goal. Ben White's our only fit right back at the minute, unless you include like Cedric Suarez, and I don't think he'll ever play for Arsenal again, really. Maybe in the Champions League in like a dead rubber game, but hopefully he'll never have to start a proper Premier League game for us. Centre-backs will be Saliba and Gabriel. Need these two to be right on it. They're going to have a tough game on their hands with Watkins and either Bailey or Diaby, whichever one of them play. They have to use their dominance. They have to physically dominate them, be on the front foot, win all the headers when the balls go long. When crosses come in, they need to be on it, winning all the first headers and second headers. I need a dominant performance for both of them. The thing is with Gabriel and Saliba, they've got all the attributes to deal with pretty much any striker in the world. They're both quick, they're both strong, both good in the air, and they can both play. And they both can read the game well. But if they're not on it, Ollie Watkins will run them ragged and he will be right up for it. You know, he's in red hot form. I said he's an Arsenal man, so he's going to want to, you know, prove a point. So going to be a really big game for our two centre-backs. And one I've just got a feeling they're going to rise to, and I can see them both having a good game, fingers crossed. Left back, I think it will be Zinchenko who comes back in. I don't think Kivior covered himself in glory, and we don't really have another option there. You know, I was potentially a bit harsh Kivior the other day. I'm not too sure he is good enough, but he was playing out of position. You know, he's not a left back, and it was a frantic game against Luton. But I fully expect Zinchenko to come back into this game, and hopefully, you know, I'm sure his role will be to invert and help us dominate the ball when we can, and progress the ball forward quickly, break them lines. And I think it could be quite a key aspect of the game. Zinchenko getting on the ball and playing forward. In midfield, so this is where I think we might see changes. Earlier I mentioned possibly Jorginho coming in. I think, as much as it might be harsh on Havertz, and there is reasons for Havertz to play, I think Jorginho will start the game alongside Declan Rice. And then I think it'll be Martin Odegaard as the midfield three. I think that just gives us a bit more balance, and I think Arteta trusts that maybe more away from home in a bigger game. However, it wouldn't surprise me if Kai does start. You know, he could be one of the people winning them flick-ons to beat their press, an opportunity for us to go long. And he could also exploit the high line running off Jesus. So it wouldn't surprise me if Kai starts, but I just have a feeling he might go Jorginho for this one. And then the front three will, more than likely, unless there's any problems or injuries in training, Saka, Martinelli and Jesus. And like I said, I think Martinelli could be key in this game with his pacing behind. So, and Jesus is going to need everyone's going to need a big game. Everyone is, because Villa away is no joke of a game. And it's going to be one that the whole 11, if we're going to get anything, has to be on it. But I've got a feeling we're gonna do it this weekend. I can see us winning the game for some reason. Just have a feeling it's going to be something the boys step up to, knowing it's a chance to put a marker down and send a message out to the rest of the league after City, you know, had a really bad performance and result against Villa in midweek. So when I'm into my predicted score, I can't see Villa not scoring. So I'm gonna go 2-1 Arsenal. I think it'll be tight. Or it could easily be like 3-2. I don't see us winning it by more than 2 or 3 goals. But hopefully I'm wrong and we go there and we absolutely dominate them and blow them away. Because I could also see it being like a Newcastle away last season, where we went there. Newcastle were probably the favourites. Arsenal weren't in the best form. And Newcastle were rocking, and we went there and we beat them 2-0 and controlled the game fairly well. Obviously they still had their chances, but I can see it being that type of game. But I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. Let me know in the comments what you think the team will be and should be. What you think the score will be. Like, comment and subscribe, and please do share the page. I'll be doing my reaction video hopefully on Sunday. If not, it will be out Monday latest. Yeah, thank you for watching. Take care.